Hi everyone, it looks to me like I might be live. I had a few technical issues I had to deal with there, but it looks to me like I might actually have a live stream going. Okay, well, this is Dan. I'm with Dan's Retirement Journey. I'm Philippines bound, and this is the Sunday update. Yes, okay, let me make some adjustments here to my camera. Oh, 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 oh. All right. I'm not sure I have adequate lighting. Anyway, we're going to do the best we can. Ah, anyway, looks like I'm going to have to hold the camera a little bit, move it around a little bit. All right. Well, anyway, this is Dan with Dan's Retirement Journey. I'm Philippines bound. This is test number 2 for live streaming. I'm going to see if I can figure Prism out. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about the build and how that's going. So far, so good is all I could say, with the exception that the budget is a little bit higher than we originally planned. We're probably at somewhere around $23,000 right now into the build, American money. That does not include the land. The land cost was probably, I think it was somewhere around $10,000 plus all the fees associated with buying the land, the attorney's fees and those types of things. So Minnie and I had purchased that land about 2 years ago, and then we started really buckling down on saving money to build the house. So we just recently, if you've been watching the videos, you've seen that they're finished. They're doing the finish work now. Uh, they are actually putting the skim coating on the hollow block, which is a really really good thing, and it makes it look like concrete cast. And so I've been watching some other videos, especially Texas Filipino, where he's casting it all in concrete. And I've convinced myself that that should have been the way that I should have gone with this. I probably should have cast it in concrete. But in order to do that, you actually have to be there in the Philippines supervising the job, because otherwise they don't have that type of experience. So I guess before this build, I did give it a thought or two and decided that I wouldn't upset the apple cart, so to speak, and I would allow the house to be built with hollow block in a traditional way. And what I did have control over here is the type of hollow block that they could use in terms of size and also hardness, and so you can order the hollow block based on what size, a number 4 and number 6, and also they give you different options for the hardness factor. Then once you get all that worked out, then you skim coat it, and it makes it look like cast. You skim coat it inside and outside. So here's what I did. I went with number 6 on the outside, and I went with number 4 for the interior walls. And for the ceiling, I'm going to be using plywood. Now, something I learned recently about plywood versus gypsum board. Plywood is actually a better way to go. And why is it a better way to go? Quite frankly, it's because it has an R factor that's a little bit higher than gypsum board as far as insulation goes, and also it has reduces sound, and so it has sound reduction quality. So here in the States, as everybody knows, we use plasterboard or gypsum board, but it doesn't have a very good insulation um, R factor, not very high at all. In fact, it's one of the lowest rating in material that you could possibly find. And so what you end up doing is you end up putting insulation batting behind it, and then you put your gypsum board or your plasterboard on top, and it kind of looks like plaster walls. Well, the problem with that is that energy costs are going to be a little bit higher. And so I know it's more expensive, but in the long run, folks should be building with plywood. But honestly, there's plywood is a composition type of board, and we use it because we don't want to cut down trees in order to build homes. But I think the way they build homes in America is going to change pretty soon. Because mostly because of environmental concerns. So I don't know. I don't know. Will we start casting in concrete? Of course, everybody knows there's also a concrete shortage. And so I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if we're going to continue to dig and mine uh, for the purpose of building concrete homes. Okay, okay, enough on that subject. Okay, so we're at 23,000, and I see $25,000 coming. So I've been having to go and tap a few savings accounts in order to continue with the build. In other words, so the original budget was about $20,000, and I thought originally we'd be able to save some money along the way. But truth of the matter is, as the pandemic hit, materials costs started to go up, and delivery costs started to go up, and so we started having those types of issues. All right, all right. What's the next thing to talk about? Oh, I realized that by watching Coach Mavs ride around the area, then I'm not going to be able to get away without having some sort of transportation service. And I have no plans myself of driving in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, I barely am able to get around here in the States. I mean, people are driving crazy here in California, in Sacramento, California. And also, the thing that worries me is it's getting worse. And I'm not sure exactly what that's all about. I'm not sure that if that human A personality instinct is taken over, people have just become a little bit more aggressive. But I've done a couple of things that have helped me out driving here in Sacramento. One, I never make eye contact with anybody. That's for sure, because I don't want to have any road rage incident or anything like that. You definitely don't want to be getting involved in something like that when you're in the home stretch here, when retirement is just around the corner. Okay, like I said, I'm holding on to the tripod to make so I have a face shot here, a decent face shot. I'm going to take a sip of my. I'm doing a balancing act right now. I'm going to take a sip of my libation here. Mm. It's Starbucks this morning, folks. Mm. Yes, okay. Light roast, the coffee that started it all. All right. Let's see. Where am I? Where am I? Where was I? Oh yeah, about driving. So I realize I'm gonna need some kind of service in the Philippines. So I'll probably end up having to buy some kind of transportation vehicle. Every time I talk to my wife about buying a scooter, she panics a little bit. Oh no, 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 we can't do that. They run people over for sport in the Philippines, run people over on motorbikes for sport. So she said we're going to have to step it up a notch, and probably buy one of those Suzuki vehicles, those little utility vehicles would probably be able to get around in that. And I'll put a cover on it, put bench seats in there in the bed, and then we'll be good to go. Will I be driving? No way. Will not be driving in the Philippines. I'll hire a full-time driver if I have to drive us around, but there's no way that I'm going to be driving myself. I just don't like driving. Number one, don't like driving, and certainly wouldn't be driving in the Philippines because traffic can be a nightmare. All right, all right. On to another subject. Oh yeah. So here's the thing: when you're in the home stretch and you're getting ready to retire in the Philippines, it's a very, very good idea to get the tune-up, get all the medical stuff done. And I'm not going to go into it much, except that I've had a couple of. I'm doing it. In other words, I've decided, oh yeah, I got to go and get these things done. Things like colonoscopy. You got to get the prostate checked. You got to get your eyes checked, and all these other things. Well. Not surprisingly, without going into too much detail, I've had some issues. Some issues were discovered They're basically the ones that affect older men. Men start to age, you start having trouble doing different things. You have trouble peeing, you got trouble seeing, you get the cataracts, you get polyps in the colon. All these things are very real, and I don't mind just saying the words, you know. But these things have to be taken care of before you venture out anywhere around the world, in the Philippines or any other place. So, as the time approaches for retirement, then you've got to take care of all these problems. And I do have eye surgery coming up tomorrow on Monday. So this is going to put me out of play for a couple of days as it heals. But in any event, I got to go and get it fixed. I'm not looking forward to it. It isn't one of the most pleasant experiences I'm sure that I will be having in my life. But I got to go take care of it, because it's better to take care of it now than when I'm overseas in the Philippines, and especially when you have the insurance all in place that you could utilize in order to pay for those procedures. All right, so talked a little bit about the old man stuff. What else? What else? I know. I want to talk about uh, money situations. Everybody's doing budget videos and all sorts of other things. These things are all relative, folks. I think the average Filipino household salary is somewhere between $200 and $300 a month in U.S. money, and you can recreate any kind of or create any kind of lifestyle that you want in the Philippines if you're able to get over there. The things that you have to worry about, of course, are things that trap people in the United States. Things like healthcare. Healthcare. The United States has blown this up to become a very, very big issue, and this is a recent occurrence in our history. You know, we've gone. If you go back a generation and a half, folks didn't worry about health care and things like that. If you got ill, you had to deal with it. Of course, it didn't cost $1 million for uh, cancer treatment or open heart surgery or having things, transplants and those types of things. And so this is the reason why the health insurance issue has become such a big deal, both in this country and other Western cultures. But you go to Southeast Asia, they're not talking about this issue. You got people that are in their 70s and their 80s, they got health issues, but they're not running to the doctor every 5 minutes, running up the insurance rates. They're using natural, traditional homeopathic medicine and other issues in order to resolve those healthcare needs. But here in this country, and I realize that this is a little bit of commentary. I mean, they spend a lot of time talking about, getting old and medical insurance and what are you going to do when you get old. And they talk about Medicare and how you can't use it in the Philippines and all these other things. So this is this. I mean, the differences are that in Southeast Asia, you're operating from a culture of hope. In the United States, we're operating on a culture of fear. We're constantly being threatened, with all sorts of things, especially recently. If you don't get this shot, you're going to end up dying from the horrible, uncontrollable disease. And by the way, in case you haven't noticed by watching the videos, I have gotten both shot number one and both of the shots, the Pfizer number one and number two. So I should be in good shape a couple of weeks from now, because after shot number two, it takes 2 weeks in order to develop that immune response. Hmm. Hmm. Dang, I just realized I'm talking about a bunch of crap. All right, all right, all right. Okay, I can see the reflection of the camera and um, the lighting in my sunglasses. I hope you guys don't mind. Again, this is test number two, but it's also the Sunday update. All right, so what's next? All right, so yeah, so I have an opinion about that. Yeah, you're going to get sick when you're overseas. You're probably going to have to go to the doctor. So although you probably could recreate living Asian style in the Philippines, or Filipino style, I don't think that you should venture out without having the health insurance coverage issue handled. I will have it handled where I'll have both private insurance in the Philippines, and also I will have coverage through Medicare in the United States. So you got to work it out. You got to figure it out. It's cheaper to get it when you're younger. And then, of course, you also should have an account, an emergency account, to handle the out of pocket expenses. And so I most certainly am working on that, recreating or creating an emergency health insurance account. Of course, Minnie's younger than I am by about 20 years or 19 years. And so she's also going to have private health insurance and PhilHealth. And also, we're going to create an emergency fund and operate out of that. We already have health savings accounts that we're going to be able to tap. And I mean, there's sizable amounts in there because there's savings accounts that have been established over the course of the last 5 or 10 years. So anyway, we're actually in good shape that way, but I just want to make sure I double the amount of money that I have over there in available for an emergency fund to take care of healthcare needs. So it's not really the housing and the cost of food and those other things that all the other vloggers are talking about. It really has to do more with what Steve at the Philippine Information Channel and some others, Andy Omar and all these other guys, spend time discussing about building that that account for emergency situations so that you can have that to rely upon. You don't need as much. You don't need $200,000 in that fund, folks. If you build that fund up to let's say 20,000 US, you're probably in great shape. I mean, here, what does heart surgery cost? Well, it costs a fraction of that amount in the Philippines. All right, what about the delivery of services that are available as far as healthcare? You have to shop around. So the plan is, and I've discussed this with Minnie, and she's in agreement. We're going to spend, maybe half of the time in the provincial house that we're currently building, the retirement home in Baybay City, Leyte. And also, we're going to be spending half our time in Cebu or maybe even Thailand or Vietnam. And so Malaysia's an option, and so are other countries. And so we're only a couple hours by plane to any one of those destinations. And so the whole idea here is that you can get health care in the major city of Cebu, the place that we're planning on calling our second home. And also, Cebu's a good idea because you have easy access to anywhere else in the world that you like to travel, for medical care. So Bangkok, Thailand has one of the finest hospitals in the world, Bangkok Hospital. And there's no reason why you shouldn't set everything up so that you could afford treatment at Bangkok Hospital. In Cebu, you have 2 private hospitals that give excellent care. And in Baybay Leyte, you have the University Hospital there. There are places to go that offer excellent health care. I know everybody's saying, oh, the United States offers the best health care in the world. Well, I think the United States is, in terms of health care, is somewhere between 30 and 40. And so we're not number one in the world. I think maybe you're going to see better countries. You're going to see countries that do a better job in healthcare and the delivery of services than the United States. But Philippines, to be honest, is probably somewhere between 115 and 130. But healthcare, if you have the money, really good healthcare, if you have the money, is available no matter where you want to go, anywhere in the world. You just have to go seek it out. And so don't wait to the last minute. Line up your doctors and line up the hospital where you're going to get care. But number one is, and I realize that we're coming full circle on this. You gotta get the tune up before you make the venture out into the Philippines. Okay. So let's talk about Minnie. Let's talk about Minnie a little bit. So my wife is also doing the same thing. So let's say that I'm not saying we're going to be in the Philippines within the next year, but let's say, for example, that I am. All right. Let's say that I show up there in a year or so. Well, that means we got a year one insurance year in order to get everything taken care of. Okay. So, hey, I was just joined by one of our Filipina, I should say, hostess, the hostess with the mostess. And a shout out to her, and her vlog. And I'm having a hell of a time with my eyes. As I was saying, the eyesight is going. I'm having surgery tomorrow morning, bright and early. I have to be down at the hospital about 6:15, and they're going to do some serious surgery on my right eye, and then probably in a month or two they're gonna start working on the left eye. So I know life is kind of strange. It's not all perfect. I mean, I realize that some people they age well, and they uh, they go through their entire life and live a long and happy life, and never even have to uh, ever set foot in a hospital for treatment of everything. So, but I myself, I don't take care of myself very well. I try losing weight and things like that, and I end up gaining it back really fast. I have managed to stay away from uh, the fast food places, with the exception of Jollibee. Oh no, no, I'm never ever giving up Jollibee. Chicken Joy? Are you kidding me? No, no, we love Chicken Joy, and so what you have to do if you're going to eat fast food every now and again, you've got to plan. You've got to plan when you're going to have those meals. So I have managed to stay away from the fast food places like McDonald's and things like that, and I drive by Popeye's chicken. Popeye's, hey, you have the best chicken in the world, the tastiest, but I can no longer eat it. The tastiest second only to Jollibee. There's nothing like Chicken Joy. All right, so I admit to you, I had Chicken Joy just the other day, and those things, I'm telling you, when you do that, you develop issues with cholesterol, and then you have to take medication for that, and next thing you know, the medication is actually having a negative impact on your health. Okay, I wish I could share all the health issues and all the tune-ups that I've been getting. None of them have been especially serious, and they have managed to um, do these procedures on me that have had excellent results. And as a matter of fact, in a couple of these, I wish I could tell you what they were. They're old man procedures, basically. But you got to do your research. Here's the other thing I want to say: don't just do what the doctor says. You have to take in charge of your own health. I appreciate doctors and all the time that they spend in medical school learning everything. But the bottom line is, you're the one that has to research and make the decision on how you're going to approach certain conditions in your life. And so, nothing against. There are situations where I want to do business with an older medical professional as opposed to a younger one. But there's certain conditions like dealing with eyesight that you want to deal with the guys the men and women that are freshest, and they're trained on the most recent developments in technology, so they could help you out with your um, your issues. Okay. So let's see. I'm doing live stream through YouTube. I'm using Prism. I don't know if most of you guys realize this, but you can use Prism without reaching the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. And so I want to give a shout out to Prism. That's PRISM, for developing a program, probably they did it in collaboration with YouTube. I don't know how you wouldn't be able to cooperate with YouTube, because they can certainly cut you off at any moment. At a moment's notice, they can cut you off. All right, all right, all right. All right, so I have one viewer. Yay! Or I have one viewer. So I truly appreciate you, and I really, really enjoy your vlogs. And I'm thinking that I'm not getting the whole rhythm thing the way that you are. And I'm going to start working on that to understand how um, the analytics work, and how the rhythm of the video works, and how to edit the videos so that they keep people's attention. So those things are very, very important in order to get people to not bail on your videos before they end. And so, and also it helps with subscriberships. Okay, so here, why the live feed? Why is the live feed so important, even if you only have one or two people watching? And that is because when for some reason, YouTube analytics, has done research on this, and they've concluded that if you live stream, you'll increase your subscribership numbers. And so that means that your subscriber numbers will go up every time you live stream. I'm not sure exactly why that is. I'm not sure if it's because it gets the attention. Maybe the some subscribers, they have the alert set for any live stream video, and then they go searching around your channel and they find a video that they enjoy watching, and they go ahead and they subscribe. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, so watching right now is Far86 Vlog 1. And if you haven't gone to her channel, shout out to her. If you haven't gone to her channel, I encourage you to take a look. And then there's something very calming, there's something very delightful about how she streams. And so I know she's discovered the secret to getting subscribers to subscribe to her channel. And so I go there and I watch and I try and learn, and hopefully I'll get the hang of things someday soon. All right, all right, all right. What else? Oh, Coach Mavs. So if you notice, Coach Mavs and Gel, they're both my brother-in-laws, and what they do is they provide me video streams almost on a daily basis, and then I have to edit them together and try and make some sort of a story out of it that folks will understand. So sometimes they're fragmented videos that have to be pieced together, and all that takes a lot of time. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can cut down on my video editing time, and I may start slowing down the video the numbers, because right now I'm posting daily because they're providing me videos daily. But I think starting this week, I'll start posting once every 2 days or once every 3 days. One reason for doing that is because we're basically seeing the progress of the house, but it seems like it occurs in slow motion. And so when that happens, there are not too many interesting things happening. So I think what I'll do is I shall work on that a little bit and see about reducing the number of videos for the sake of increasing viewership of those videos, and also keeping my subscribers interested in watching them. Okay, okay. If anyone has any suggestions about what I should be doing there, I truly would appreciate your comments, because I definitely am paying attention. Some of you that have given suggestions to me, I've actually deployed them and I'm utilizing them, and it is actually working the way that you said that it would. So I truly appreciate that, and I truly appreciate all my subscribers. Let's see, there was something very important I wanted to share with you. All of it is important, actually, I wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit better. Oh, I know what it is. Gel. Gel is in. He's in. He got the first shot, the first vaccination shot, and he's under observation right now. And the place that he's at looks kind of like it's a hospital in a remote location, but it kind of looks like a converted military installation of some sort. That's kind of the impression that I get when he sent a video. But I think following this vlog, this live feed, I will go ahead and slap portions of his video to it once I edit it. And so we'll edit this all together and then slap it together as the Sunday update. All right. Okay, well, I think I'm out of steam. And it's been a few minutes, and so I hope I've touched on a few subjects that some of you were interested in. And the whole thing, in, of course, is that you have to take care of your health and you have to do a lot of prep work. And I think on the next update, I'll show you a little bit about how we're going to be handling the money. I've talked about it before, but I've talked about it in very uncertain terms. I think that I've had a handle on, you know, what I want to do and how I want to handle it. But at every turn and every corner, there are things that get me thinking, maybe this isn't such a great way of handling things. But anyway, I'm going to go over those things in the future. And also, oh yeah, I can't forget to tell you about how I'm preparing my house for sale. Most of you know in the United States, the cost of housing, like the Philippines, is going absolutely crazy. And so I decided that after careful discussion with Minnie about this, that it was time to sell the home, and we're going to prep it and get it ready for sale. And at first, I thought I was going to sell by owner, but I think I'm going to go ahead and employ a real estate agent to help me out with this. And I've selected one, and so I'm looking forward to working with them. And I may vlog. I may vlog different things I'm doing to the house in order to prep for that sale, if you guys find it interesting. So I'll start videotaping a few of those changes, and then I'll go ahead and put them up online. And hey, if I get some decent responses that you want to see more about what I'm doing, then, I will post them. I'll post more, and then we'll make a story out of it. But hey, I got to tell you, they don't call me Low Budget Dan for nothing. Low Budget Dan, and so that means some of the work I'll be doing myself, and some of it I'll be employing some of the neighborhood kids so they can make some money, for some fun money and some video game money. And I'll be blogging that if they let me. All right. That's about all I got. So once I edit the video, then I'm going to include where a video about where Gel is, and I hope you find that as interesting as I did. But anyway, he's there for observation for a week. They want to see. I don't know. I don't think the vaccine that he took was some kind of experimental drug, but I guess all the vaccines, if you think about it, are experimental. But anyway, it's kind of interesting that he got that in the Philippines, because I know that the vaccination supply is very low, and they're starting to build it up. So hopefully, um, it'll be readily available in the Philippines all the way through the end of this year. Once they get the supply chain established and they negotiated all their deals with the pharmacies involved. Oh, by the way, some people have talking about that Pfizer is not in the Philippines, but a Reuters news article that I read, said that Pfizer is in the Philippines. So if you happen to know whether the Pfizer vaccine is there or not for you to take advantage of, please let me know. I thought I heard that Iloilo or one of the provinces or islands had ordered Pfizer, and we're going to use Pfizer. But hey, I don't know. I don't know about that, and I know that there's some political things going on as far as that goes. Things that I have very very little knowledge about. So anyway, if you know what's going on there as far as vaccination um, providers and things like that, please let me know. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. We've been talking for a while. I'm now, my voice is starting to get a little sore, raspy down here. Oh, let me take a sip of my final sip here on camera of my Starbucks. I thought I'd treat myself this morning. And we're out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take care.